Yep, 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 yep.
Hi, this is Mark Wiltshire from Explore Finland, and I'm here today at the press conference for Seinäjoen Jalkapallokerho's esports team. And I'm joined today by Mikko Jokipi, who's the events manager for SJK esports. So, Mikko, thanks for joining me.
How you going, Mark?
Why don't we start right at the very beginning and tell us a little bit, what is esports? Well, since I read the press release last week, I've talked to a few people who are not necessarily that into football and not gamers, and they've sort of scratched their head, and somebody said to me today, I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing. I don't get it.
It's an ongoing conversation in Finland, also, as I'm sure all over the world. Esports is basically electronic sports. It's basically, you would say it's chess-like. It's mostly based on tactics and the kind of mental preparation, and it does like a lot of esports are team-oriented. What we're doing here is we're about to announce our first FIFA player, which is a solo effort. And but basically, esport has already been around for a long time, and has been looking for validation from the kind of classic sports. And what has happened in the last, let's say, 12 months is that the interest from like old media and old kind of teams has risen, and huge NBA teams have bought into esports teams. PSG, Manchester City have opened up in FIFA with apparently huge sums of money as well. So from why is this team like SJK interested in this is basically because of the potential, and so that's pretty much the reason why we're here. And myself, my first impression of esports happened in 2012, because I'm not a young guy either. I'm 35 years old. I ran a bar in Jyväskylä in Finland, and in this bar I showed like live games, football, Champions League, NHL, World Cup of Hockey. And there was a group of young guys and girls who came over and said that we want to have, on Sunday night, we want to have a bar crafting, as they called it then. They wanted to come to a bar, have a few beers, and watch esports. And I'm kind of giggling to myself, yeah, for sure. Like, if that, I'm running the bar by myself anyway, it doesn't cost me anything. Sure, I'll stream it. And I had more people come in than to any of my, like, classic sports games.
It's interesting because that ties in with what I've seen from my kids.
Exactly,
especially my son, who's 13.
Yeah.
Watching other people play games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But maybe it's not any more strange than going out there and watching other people play football.
Exactly right. And these are, I would say that maybe the two sports that have made esport huge are League of Legends and Dota 2. Okay. These are the two sports that have kind of started. They went from huge prize pools to kind of giving young kids dreams of, like, if I'll make it up there, I'm gonna play professionally. And these companies have approached it in this manner of like huge prize pools, and that's why it's gathered so many people. Of course, esports was exciting before it was, there was huge money involved, but I'm going to say that it has a big impact as well. And the reason why huge teams are getting into it, they kind of see the excitement within the young community. But let's say that there's a lot of 30-plus-year-olds as well following esports really closely. But there's also a lot of 10-year-olds. So
it's interesting because I'm someone whose esports career kind of ended when my Commodore 64 gave up sometime, I guess, in the early 90s.
Yeah.
And it was football, the original Football Manager, Microprose Soccer, and then I just stopped. Gaming wasn't something that I continued with.
Yeah.
But you just said made a couple of references to money.
Yeah.
You said that the big clubs have invested big in it, and also about prize money.
Yeah.
In what way are the clubs investing in these teams, either SJK or maybe some of the others?
There's a lot of gold rush type of mentality going on right now. There's a lot of Mark Cuban, the owner of Dallas Mavericks, he said, and the billionaire, he said that he's not going to go into that. But there's a lot of teams that have gone into that. So they have been buying already kind of made names. In Finland, it's not like a business yet. So So the way we start working today with Juho Koppinen Järvelä is he sees the potential in the brand, and we see the potential in him, and we start working together for the goal of getting sponsors. Of course, the goal is to make him work full time for playing FIFA. So the reason why the clubs are into it right now, and why you have so many press releases coming all over the world, where big teams and big leagues are going into, let's say, FIFA, is because it's kind of easy publicity as well at this point. But also it brings in a crowd of people. There was a great quote from Jussi from SJK, who's attending today's the release. He said that not everyone who plays FIFA has played football, but every single person who plays football, every single guy in SJK, for instance, when they drive the bus, they play FIFA.
Yeah.
So you have two kind of interest groups, and if you bring another interest group into it, you'll have new fans and you'll have new following. And
Are these clubs that are investing in their esports team, again, outside of SJK maybe, are they paying the players a salary and then the prize money goes to the club? Is that how that's working?
There's a lot of different ways of approaching it. There's basically one or two professional esports teams in Finland. The first and the most known is Ense Esports, who are also going into the console side of, because the Classics is the kind of PC gaming, and what we're talking here is playing with PlayStation or Xbox. And the way that these agreements function, I believe, is mostly you pay a salary, you kind of guarantee an income to a player, and when they eventually win a prize pool, that's when you kind of divvy up the money.
Yeah.
But I would say that there's a lot of different kind of agreements. I would say that the sport is so young, and there's going to be like many kind of different. As long as you have players moving from one organization to the other organization is going to go and ask, like, is this, what did they offer you? And they realized that they offered something completely different. So, but I believe that's the mentality.
And what about from the players, the top players in esports around the world? What sort of money are they able to earn?
Tomorrow, for instance, there's going to be a Swedish tournament that I believe Juho will be attending. Koppinen, our first player. They basically announced the players based on the world rankings, and the prize pool is €10,000. That's not a big tournament worldwide, but the biggest one is the World Championship of FIFA I believe in London in August, and it has a €2,100 prize pool.
€200,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and the biggest esports right now, I believe, are in the millions. They are in the millions of prize pools in the tournaments. So. They are
the overall prize.
The winners get millions.
Okay.
So individual players will make hundreds of thousands of euro a year, if they are. So their income is basically based on streaming and of course the tournaments.
So playing their games, streaming them via Twitch or something like that, and then getting the.
And I would say that esports, more than any other
revenue.
sport, is a communication. It's kind of because you have players playing the game, wearing a headset, talking about their game, they communicating with the. So it's something that's hard to explain to someone.
It's true.
It's basically having a Zlatan Ibrahimovic wearing talking to his fans while playing. It's
it's a good analogy.
Yeah. Of course, these are casual games when they communicate with when they stream their games or whatever, and the actual competitive games are mostly like following the sport like any other sport.
So I should tell my son's mum to not nag him too much to stop playing, because this could be a career.
We have a guy here, Matteus, who's from kind of a conservative background. His parents gave him trouble every day about his habits, and they were pulling the plug off the wall and stuff when he was a kid. And all of a sudden, he got money from England, from a professional esports organization like 10 years ago. And his parents were like, "What kind of mob are you in? And what is this criminal organization that you're in?" Because they couldn't understand. And after that, it was no issue for him to play online.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take that. Ollie, if you ever listen to anything that your dad makes, this is the one to listen to. Mikko, thanks for your time. It's interesting.
Of course. Yeah. Cheers.
So I'm now with Janne Kotamäki, who's the sporting director of SJK. Janne, esports and football, I thought they were very different. But now, today, SJK is launching its own esports team. What do you think it will bring to the club, having esports team?
No, first of all, I think if Manchester City and PSG, and now I read about it that Panathinaikos do this esport teams, then I think maybe it's not so stupid to do that, because I have noticed that big club do the same, and it's not so many club start this esport, and I think if we go 2 years, then maybe this is more bigger sport than we imagine now. And I don't know, but I think this is only a big chance to do something different.
Yeah. And to be the
we
first Finnish club.
Yes, first Finland. We have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Always SJK is the team. We want to do everything first, and not last one. If every Finnish team have esport team and we are last one, it's not our style. We
want to be innovators.
Innovators, yes, and that is a big thing, this esport. That why we start to do that.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Tell me about some of those possibilities that you think it brings to SJK as a. I hate using this word, but as a brand.
Brand. First of all, it's the brand. We built the brand, and it was when we start. We think that football club, it's biggest thing. It's to build the brand. Otherwise, it's very difficult. Everything. If you want money, you have to. If you ask money for companies, sponsor money, you have to be good brand. That's why this esport it's helping, I think.
And I guess it's helping the club reach a completely different group of people around the world, a completely different demographic.
Yes.
There are probably millions of gamers in the world who've never heard of SJK until now.
And then it's right to say social media. It's growing so fast, and information going so fast. This SJK brand can go 2 days, 3 days all over the world.
Have you seen that happen since the press release?
Yes. I have get email message from the world that this is nice what you do.
Yeah. What did you first think when somebody suggested that SJK has an esports team?
First, I think it is stupid. Why? Because, of course, football is so traditional sport, and I think it's only children playing FIFA. But then I heard more and read about more this esport, and then I understand that this is so big sport today.
I thought the same thing. Not stupid, but I was confused. And I think many people listening will be confused, which is why I thought it would be good to speak to a few of you guys today and just understand that it's not just kids playing online, but this is a sport. And when I was talking to Mikko, we were saying maybe it's natural to watch somebody play games. I come and stand on the terrace every home game and watch people playing a game. So maybe that's no more strange.
And many players. My son is play football, and he play a lot. And he's 19, and he says when he heard this, he says this is very good, and people only say positive things.
I think the people that understand it immediately think it's a good thing, and hopefully we can help educate people that don't immediately understand it and get them to see that it's a positive thing as well. That's great. Janne, thank you for talking to me. Okay, I'm now with Jussi Kankanpää, the Sales and Marketing Manager for SJK. Jussi, thanks for joining me.
It's a pleasure.
I was talking just now with Janne about the branding aspects, and maybe we can just talk a little bit more about that. In your role as sales and marketing, what impact is this esports team going to have for the club?
I think we can reach different kind of groups with this. It's easier to watch football, and if you play FIFA or backboards, and I think that some groups or companies are interested about those markets.
It's going to make a big difference, I guess, also which players the club signs under the SJK badge.
Yeah.
Any news on that yet?
Not yet, but I think that there will be soon as possible. I think
Negotiations are ongoing.
Yeah,
I'm not going to get a scoop today.
Yeah, they are going, and there are some big signs, I hope.
From a business side of things, if you're reaching these different groups of people overseas, how does the club benefit from that? How will the club use that to it?
Well, if you think that there are about 180 million sold FIFA copies around the world, you can understand that it's big market for us, and of course for our sponsors and partnerships, because I think that those 108 million people, there could be like million people who know something about Finnish football, but I think that SJK is something different for them, something they haven't seen before. And I think that maybe Leo Messi or Zlatan Ibrahimovic or Neymar will know SJK after this, but much better.
Be nice if we could bring one of those players to come and play here for a season. Maybe.
Of course, and this is one way to tell for everybody what kind of brand SJK is.
Yeah. And then for you to be able to sell sponsorship or whatever of the club based on reaching out to these people overseas.
Of course, because there are lots of companies who sell something to different kind of lands, and I think that there are possibilities for them also.
The press release that came out last week mentioned Oma Asper Stadion being a venue for esports. How do you see that working? Where would that take place, and why is it such a good venue?
There are big opportunities here because we have 500 customer places here in Carlsberg, and we have about 50-60 screens where we can play casual or tournaments like in cash pools. But I see this big opportunity because we don't have, in the winter time, we don't have so many events here. So I think that it will bring something new here.
So looking around the Carlsberg sports bar here, there are screens kind of every 5 meters or so along the wall and around the bar and everything. You can see potentially this being set up with a PlayStation or whatever in front of each one, and competitions being played here.
Yeah, I hope that PlayStation will contact us and bring some consoles here. But honestly, I see this is big opportunity for PlayStation also, because this could be esports arena at the winter time, and I'm not sure what's the timetable, but I think that it will come soon.
And you mentioned also casual gaming.
Casual gaming.
So players could come here.
Yeah.
There's facilities for them to play and to get into esports and I guess potentially practice, become good, and then there's the aim of there's the SJK esports team at the top of that pyramid, I guess.
Yeah, and also we need more young people to our games at Oma Asper, because we have now our attendance average is about 4,000, but I think that there are a lot of space for younger people also, and that's one that the esports scene is one way to reach them.
I think that having the esports team at the top with casual gamers that maybe getting more serious and want to progress kind of mirrors the SJK first team and the academy, and then there's kind of 4 or 5 junior clubs in Seinäjoki, and then there's other junior clubs in the local towns, and the whole thing can filter up to the men's team. It's kind of setting a professional target or something for kids to aspire to.
When Pekka contacted me and we talked about this first time about a month ago or so, I saw that same that you said. It's like this esports academy is same kind of academy as our own SJK academy.
It's interesting.
Yeah, this is very interesting, and I'm not a specialist about esports, not at all. I don't know much about it, but I try to learn more about, because it's interesting, really interesting, and its future. I hope that everyone who looks this SJK esports thing tries to learn more about esports, because it's future.
That's right, and we've been talking mostly about FIFA today, but there's I guess a possibility this goes off into non-sporting games. But I know that there's competitions in games like Hearthstone and Overwatch and things like that, and this could go in many different directions.
Yeah, and that's one reason why it reaches so many people, because it's easy to watch, it's easy to listen, it's easy to follow that kind of sport.
And maybe different games reach different people. There must be some crossover, but there must be people who play, I don't know, Hearthstone that don't play FIFA.
Yeah.
So each title you get into, there's an opportunity for more people to learn about SJK.
Hearthstone is like maybe close to poker or something, and then FIFA it's close to football. Then NHL, it's close to ice hockey. There are similarities. If you play FIFA, you could know better those players who are playing, and when you're watching Champions League or Veikkaus League or something, it's easier to follow when you have played FIFA, because you know the players, what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses.
Great, you'll see. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Pekka Rihima.
Pekka, yeah.
Thank you for joining me. You're the
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
esports team manager for SJK. So
Correct.
you're going to be responsible for bringing more players to the club. We've announced today that Juho Järvelä, also known as Koppinen, is going to be playing for SJK, playing FIFA, and we're surrounded by TV screens showing some of his work. How do you see this developing in future, with regards to players or even titles that you might cover?
Well, Juho he's the first one, and for a good reason, because he's the Finnish champ, and I think the best player we can find here. But I think we are going to focus on FIFA at the beginning, getting few more players at the top of the Finnish ranks, and then we are going to maybe Overwatch. It's a game that just recently launched, and it's going really well for them, and I think we are focusing after FIFA on Overwatch, and it's hard to say what's the next step, but we're focusing on just growing games and the market, following the markets.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So bringing players in that are established in FIFA, but I've been talking to some of the other guys today, and there's this idea about actually growing local talent as well. It's not so important that you have like trophies and stuff. Just that you are a good player. You have the right motives and some plans for the future, that you want to be the professional gamer. I think that's the most important thing. Okay, talk a little bit about that. What does somebody need if they want to become a professional gamer? Do they need only to focus on one game, or is it?
I think it's important, the playing hours that you have to sacrifice on one game to become like the best, or at least good on some game. It's enormous hours. So, like in actual sport, I think you can't be the professional football player and at the same time a professional ice hockey player. That just doesn't fit. So
there were one or two players that maybe in the 50s through to the 1980s in the UK that played football in the summer. Football in the winter and cricket in the summer, but it wouldn't be allowed nowadays. And I think you're right. The standards are that much higher as well.
Yeah, because if someone's playing, sacrificing all his hours in one game, and somebody is playing 3 games,
it's obvious. Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So
Juho here is he's already winning competitions at FIFA.
Yeah, he has won 2 official Finnish championships and few more like big events in Finland. And last time when FIFA held like World Champs, it was in Las Vegas 2013, and he placed between 9 and 16 on those champs, and there were like 256 players in the whole tournament. So I think that's the main
Is that enough for it to be a career? That generates enough of an income.
Not really.
So are there other games that generate more? Bigger prize money.
Yeah, there is like tens of millions in the prize pools, and I think FIFA is going to hold World Champs in London this year on August, and there is the main prize. The winning prize is like 200,000, and the second prize is 100,000. So it's
Hey, if you win that's enough to call it a career. I think
it's enough. But the level in Europe in FIFA it's huge. It's really competitive. There is a lot of like clubs going now in the field of FIFA. So it's really tough market to compete. And first you have to be the best player in Finland, that's for sure, and then Europe. But I think it's like 80% of all FIFA players come from Europe.
Yeah, okay.
It's
so
a
being
huge market.
the best in Europe gives you a really good position around the world as well.
Yeah, and there's clubs like PSG and Manchester City and other huge clubs. So
yeah, it was hearing that really opened my eyes to quite how serious this is.
Yeah,
when Larry first told me, I was like,
and it's getting more and more serious. I think the prize pools are getting bigger, and but that's good.
Seems like you've got an exciting job on your hand in the next few years.
I think so. I believe so. I think it's going to be fun, first of all, but also challenging, new challenges. And, but looking forward to it.
Fantastic.
Sure.
Good luck.
Thank you.
So finally, I'm joined by Juho Järvelä, also known online as Koppinen. Juho, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thanks, Mark.
I've been talking now to many different people from the club, and the focus obviously has been on this esports team and the players that are coming. And you're the first of these players. So what does this mean to you that SJK is starting an esports team?
It helps me a lot as a player because I don't have to worry so much about my playing equipment and tournament costs. So the club helps me with that, and it helps me as a player. So I don't have to concentrate anything but playing the game.
Yeah. Okay. So you're at the moment you're working and fitting your gaming around working.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you follow football in your spare time?
Yeah, very much. I follow all kinds of leagues and series. Yes.
Which are your favourite teams?
My favourite team in England is Millwall.
Millwall?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting that answer.
Yeah.
I'm a Wimbledon fan, so we're kind of close-ish rivals. Actually played each other just last week. So. And do you come and watch SJK?
Now I will become their loyal supporter here at the stadium.
I think I can say that you'll be made very welcome if you want to come and stand behind the goal with the rest of the Kloppit and make some noise.
Yes.
And get those guys on your side as well. Talk a little bit about your gaming and the playing. How long have you been playing FIFA now?
I have been playing competitive FIFA since 2011.
Okay.
And then I noticed that I was good at the game, and started competing in different kind of tournaments and such.
What did your family think about this? How did because I'm a parent and we're always telling our kids not to play computer games so much. Did you have the same sort of thing from your family?
Not actually. They have been supportive about this thing, and they know that it is a nice hobby and such.
Yeah, and now it's becoming more than a hobby.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Well, when is your first competition?
It was actually a Finnish championship back in 2012, and I won that tournament. So
Okay.
yeah.
And when is the first one as an SJK player?
Hopefully at the end of this month there is a tournament in Sweden where the prize pool is 10,000 euros.
Okay. That would be a nice start to your SJK career.
Yes.
Yeah. Juho, thank you.
Thank
for
you.
your time. Good luck with that.
Thanks.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, thanks.
Yep, yep.